was like, you know what? I'm just going to make some YouTube videos, not knowing that YouTube made I didn't know anything about money on videos at the time. I literally started a YouTube channel because I had some guildmates in the game I played. I was getting, honestly, not that many views on my videos, but I would say, actually none. I was a brand new channel. $250 I got for my first ever check from YouTube.
Wow.
And dude, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
As soon as I got $250 from YouTube, I was like, wait, I just made some videos at my house in my spare time and made $250 on this YouTube channel. I'm like, this can't be possible. Getting any amount of money from YouTube is like, you just see that vision, right? You do. It's possible.
Yeah.
So and the good news is anybody can do it. I'm not just gonna go look for a 9-to-5 job when I can make the same amount of money YouTube and doing what I'm doing right here. Yeah. Especially if I have potential to grow, and nobody can stop how much growth I can possibly have. Like, I'm in control of it. I invested around like $25,000 in 2 months into this mobile game, which is everything that I had made from the previous months. Yep. It literally went from thousands of players to none within the matter of 1 day. They killed the entire game. Dude, it sent my life into, like, I was somewhere I've never been before. Like, I was so depressed, dude. Like, just thinking back at those times, goodness, I'm like getting sad. Like, dude, it was rough. When you invest that much money and something gets killed, like something I worked for so hard, it was brutal, dude.
Yeah.
Like, crazy brutal. I was so sad, dude. I'm like, man, I just felt like a failure. I'm like, this is tough, man. Like, I don't know where I'm going to go because I just invested, like, everything I made. What am I going to do next? Like, dude, I was really in a rough spot. Like, I was struggling. Like, I woke up every morning and couldn't even think about making a video. I'm like, nah. Like, I can't do it.
Hey guys, welcome to another Beneath the Surface podcast episode. Today we got JT is All Business here.
What's going on, everybody?
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
Good
to be here.
First off, I just want to ask you guys to check out his channel. It's JT is All Business on YouTube. You will not regret it. It is some good stuff. I've seen a lot of gaming stuff and
if you're coming to this video from my channel, make sure to check out my man Alex right here. He's got some good podcasts coming up, boys.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. Let's hop right in. So we're going to start with the kind of origins, right?
Yeah.
Of how you kind of started your channel.
So this is a long story, boys. So basically, I'm just going to bring y'all from the start. I grew up with major case of learning disabilities, which is kind of crazy, and really struggled in elementary school and also middle school. And I was born in a family who we weren't rich, but my mom did have money. She made some really smart investments. And so in the middle school age, I think I was getting tutored anywhere from 4 to 6 hours a day just to get like middle school work done, which is out of this world insane, right? Like no kid should be doing 4 hours or 6 hours of homework on a daily basis at that age, right? And I was struggling. Like I had really bad reading issues. Like I couldn't read a word and remember anything. Like even if it was like a paragraph, it was bad. So I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know what to do. I was like, this is horrible, you know? And I didn't enjoy it either. I had ADD and ADHD. So I was all over the place, constantly wanted to do everything but schoolwork. My mom was focused somewhere else, right? So my mom was like, man, I need to do something. I have 6 brothers and sisters, and I'm actually the youngest one. So my mom's like, and everybody else obviously flew through school, no problem. And here I am just like, can't learn anything. My mom's like, something's wrong with this kid. Like, I got to figure something out to help him, right? So she went on a mission, and she actually traveled the United States and viewed a couple of schools that were for teaching kids with learning disabilities. And she found this school specifically in Beverly, Massachusetts called Landmark, which specializes in teaching kids with dyslexia. And that's what I was diagnosed with, was dyslexia. So that's what me and my mom did. She actually bought a house in Beverly, Massachusetts, right close to the school. It was a boarding school as well, so people flew actually all over the world to come to this school. It was a really good school. So then I went there for 4 years, obviously through high school, ended up graduating high school there. Just to give you like an idea of what the school was like, it had 2 hours of one-on-one tutoring within the school hours, which was amazing. Each class was a max students of 6, so it's like no matter what, awesome. Which is crazy. So the hands-on with the students was really amazing, to be honest. So I mean, I flourished there. I did good. Like I learned how to everything you need to know as a kid, right? So ended up graduating from Landmark and then went to college actually kind of near us, New England College. I don't know.
No way. Yeah.
Which is crazy because I did a lot of research and I was like, you know what? New England College actually fit well because they're kind of hands-on. They have one thing I was looking for was I do really good when somebody's teaching me one-on-one. I don't learn it maybe not necessarily right away, but if somebody's there going over it with me multiple times, it'll stick in my head and I'll end up learning whatever I'm trying to learn, right? Tutoring was a big deal for me.
Yeah.
And New England College had free tutoring there. Any student was accessible to it that went there. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not afraid to ask for help, right? I'm the first person in any class. You know what I mean? It doesn't embarrass me. It's
really
whatever.
Great.
It's like, all right, like I
that's
need some
a rare
help.
thing.
Yeah. So I was always able to do that, luckily. So, of course, I went to tutoring basically every day through college and manned up and got through college, which was absolutely amazing. In my senior year of college, I lived in the dorm room for the first 3 years, and then my senior year of college, I actually had an apartment in Concord, downtown Concord, because I just wanted to try something new, and, you know what I mean, I don't know, it's just, I don't really have a reason why I moved to Concord. It wasn't because I hated, like, living on campus or anything like that. I just wanted to do something new, right? And so while I was in Concord, I met, who is my wife now, Ashley, which is crazy, basically a party, and then I don't know. We ended up. It's a really weird. Actually, you know what? I'll go ahead and explain the story. All right. So my friend ordered D'Angelo's at my apartment, and a girl came over, and she was a pretty girl. And he's like, "Well, hey, you know what? We throw beer pong tournaments at our apartment every now and then. You know what I mean? Because of course we were drinking in college back in the day.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, you know what? Well, I'll come over with my friend. You know. And actually, they came over the next day. And the next day, she brought her friend, and it happened to be my wife now, who is Ashley. And I was just like, wow, this girl's freaking smoking. I'm gonna go ahead and talk to her. And
I got to know.
We went on a date the very next day. Next thing you know, I mean, I've been with her now for 14 years, which are 13 years, which is crazy, right?
Gosh,
so we've been together for a while.
Oh man!
And so then
it's crazy how stuff like that can just happen.
It is wild. Yeah, we're lucky because we're actually a perfect couple, so it works out really well.
Yeah.
And then after I graduated college, I was like, well, what do I want to do with my life? You know, because I didn't really know. I graduated with 2 degrees, but they weren't like specific degrees. Like I just had a business degree and then a computer degree, which just fell into place with the business degree. So it just happened to be 2 degrees. And so I was like, all right, well, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do, but my family is in business. Like I have my dad who is an architect. He works outside of Dallas. And then I also have, but my mom and dad are separated. They separated whenever I was 2.
Okay.
And I do see my dad, but pretty rarely, like once or twice a year basically. But he does really good work as an architect. And also my mom, like I said, she made a couple of really good investments, and she also invested into her kids. Like some of my brothers and sisters have like different businesses here and there that they've grown, right? So I was like, well, you know what? I might want to move back to Louisiana. That's where they're from. And we were in New Hampshire, me and my wife, or not my wife at the time, me and Ashley. And so I was like, well, we have options. Like we could get jobs here, or you know what I mean, move to Louisiana, test things out, see how it goes. At least you know if we don't test it out, we'll never really know, right?
Yeah.
And she graduated college as well. She was actually the valedictorian of the Tech in Concord.
Oh no,
which was awesome. Yeah, that was really good. So she's a dental assistant. And so when we were whenever we were here, we were like, you know what? Let's just move to Louisiana. My oldest brother has a housing company, which I've always wanted to just learn the works of how a housing company worked. You know, it's something important to me because I know there's a lot of money to be made. And I've just seen people flip houses, and the way he did it just seemed really unique. And he had at the time, I think over like 100 houses in Shreveport, Louisiana, which is where we were from. But they weren't like, he paid anywhere from like $500 to $1,000 max for each house. He'd buy them at an auction for dirt cheap.
Yeah.
Then reinvest like dirt cheap money in fixing these houses up.
And like flip, right? Yeah.
Some would be flipped, but most of them were rented out to HUD homes. So they were government paid housing. And in Louisiana, there's places in there, dude, that are like, the housing's just bad. Like, you'd be like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I've been called out. Like, there's some crazy stories that have happened. Some sad, some just absolutely crazy. But yeah, I don't even need to get into the stories that go down there. It's absolutely insane. So I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'll move back down there. I'll work with my brother and just see how things work out. And then maybe, you know what? I can start my own housing business on my own. That's kind of what I was thinking, you know, eventually.
Yeah.
Or I could do it with him, depending on what the situation was. So I ended up doing that for about 6 months, learned quite a bit of stuff in the housing business. And whenever I wanted to go and do it on my own, things just didn't work out because my brother felt like it was going to be a little bit of competition, like with him, with buying the houses and how things went, like at the auction. So I just kind of felt like weird vibes there. So I was like, all right, you know, I don't want to like impose on his business idea something that he came up with.
Okay.
And so I was like, all right, well, maybe I can move to Texas and do it in Texas because it's not like basically in the same area. But then that didn't really work out all that well. We lived about 45 minutes from the Texas border, so it was really easy to go to Texas, at least go to the housing auctions to see what was available and if it was worth the time. So I was like, all right, you know, maybe I want to just work with something else. This housing story, I could talk about it for days. So I'm just kind of moving on because there was so much work I did do in the housing business. It was a lot of fun and a lot of things that I learned that I would never go. If I had to live my life again, I'd probably do the same stuff because it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
So while we were going to these auctions, my brother, obviously I'd go with my brother to all these auctions. We went up there and they had a car lot at the auction. And we're like, man, like hopefully maybe we can get this car lot for like dirt cheap. You know, it wasn't, we actually turned it into a car lot and we had the vision of doing it, but it was at the time a car washing place. So we're like, wow, if we can buy this place and then turn it into a car lot, that would be absolutely amazing. You know, we can just have a little bit of side work because this is where all my money was coming from, whatever work I was doing with my brother at the time. And so we ended up getting this car wash at the auction for like $3,500, and it was actually a relatively nice little spot in the middle of where all these HUD homes were. So they weren't like, it wasn't like a prime location or anything like that. But you have to do what you have to do, especially when you're just starting out with work, right? You got to learn and go with life through that way. So I was like, you know what? My brother's busy with the housing stuff. I can run this car lot. And my sister at the time, she didn't have work. So I was like, maybe my sister will run this car lot with me. I'll be like, that'd be amazing. You know what I mean? Me and my sister and my brother can all go to my mom, explain like this business idea. Maybe she'll give us a little bit of money to get some cars and at least get us started, take out like a little loan. And so that's exactly what me and my sister did. And we started, we opened up a car lot, which actually took a long time. We had to get a dealership license, go through the whole process. It was like 6 months worth of work. Then, go to the auctions and actually get some cars, you know, so the name of our car lot was Low Dollar Holla, which is crazy, right? So we would buy cars for like $500 to $1,000, and then we'd resell them, you know, depending on what it was. But the most expensive car we had was like a $4,000 BMW, and we'd sell cars, you know, for basically double or triple the price. And anybody that came, they didn't have to have credit, but we made them pay as a down payment what we paid for the car, which normally was pretty cheap because we were able to get them at some of these huge auctions. Like we go to these auctions in Dallas, Texas. There's one specifically called Mannheim. Dude, it would have, literally there was like 30 bays of cars all being auctioned off at the same time. Like thousands of cars within like one day. So it was like a prime spot because we could go there and be like, all right, well, let's just test this car out. You know, you could hop in the car right briefly, gas it, make sure it like ran, and then whenever it came through the lot, you know, I obviously bid on it if you were interested in it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what we did, and we had about 10 cars on our lot. Really good time, and since I was on the subject of talking about the car lot, I'll tell you guys a funny story as well. This is more towards the end, and so I had two Ford Tauruses on my lot. One was a 94 and one was a 2001. This girl came in. And she was like, yeah, I really like your Ford Taurus. You know, what's the best deal? I don't have much money that you can give me. And I'm like, you know, I can give you this Ford Taurus for $2,000 if you put $1,000 down payment on. She's like, all right, you know, let me talk to my mom and then I'll come back. She comes back and actually bought the car. So I was like, wow. I'm like, all right, you know, that's amazing. So I was like, all right, well, we had to drive to the insurance company to get insurance on it. And I was driving with her and her mom. And dude, my freaking engine caught on fire. Of the car I was in. I just sold these people. So I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know what to do, dude. I'm like, what do you do in that situation? That's like the worst situation ever, right? Because I've been buying these cheap cars, and now I'm just like, oh man, like this is freaking awful, dude. It was a rough experience. So I was like, all right, well, you know what I can do? I was like, for free, I'm just going to upgrade you to the other Ford Taurus I had, because I had like a 96 and then whatever other year the other one was. So that ended up working out, but it was really a weird situation to where I didn't know how to respond to anything anybody said. I was just like, like obviously these people don't trust me anymore.
It's like, and their car's on fire.
and their hood's on fire. Like, this is great. You know what I mean? So then I had another quick experience I'll tell you guys. I had a PT Cruiser that I sold. Actually, this was a really good car because I bought it for $3,500 and it only had 95,000 miles on it. Wow. So pretty solid deal. We got a steal on this car and ended up selling it for $7,000. Well, this guy paid the down payment, which I think was like $3,700 something. I can't remember the exact numbers. So then anyway, we had GPSs in all of our cars just so, you know what I mean, just so we could track them down in case we needed to repo a car. Well, this car got driven to Texas like the next day after we sold it. So that's always sketchy. We're like, wait, why? Okay, he's going to Texas. Like, all right, you know, whatever. Well, then it parked in the same spot for 3 months. We were like, wow, this is like really strange. He didn't call. We couldn't get a hold of the person we sold the car with after he paid the down payment, everything. Yeah. But we did have our money back that we obviously initially invested in the car. So then it just sat there and we're like, well, obviously we got to go repo. Me and my sister are like, we got to go repo this car. You know what I mean? That's sketchy. It's like, you really want to go repo these cars? Is it worth like your value of life depending on the situation? Who knows? So of course, me and my bigger sister, we drive all the way to Texas. And because we had exact GPS, and then we pull up to the house where the car's at, and the car's in the garage, and we're like, oh, okay, great. Like, of course the car's in the garage, you know what I mean? Yeah. So then we go and we knock on the house, and this old lady answers the door, and she's like, hello? And we're like, yes, ma'am, my car is actually in your garage. And she's like, you mean Tony's car? We're like, yeah, Tony's car. And she's like, oh, he's been in prison for 3 months. We're like, we're like, well, that's bad. We're like, well, she's like, well, you can have the car. Here's the keys. And I'm like, all right. So literally, me and my sister, it was lucky, man. That's just how it worked out. So we went in, hopped in, grabbed the car, and drove it right back. Oh, my God. And what's crazy about it, not that this is anything to brag about or anything, but in the back of the trunk of this car was, dude, probably this guy had stolen, you know, like a sunglass hut, like how they keep all their glasses. He literally stole the whole glass thing and threw it in the back of the PT Cruiser. So we got like probably like 50 or 60 pairs of shades from Sunglass Hut. They're just sitting in the back of the car, which had a little bit of value. I mean, we sold all the pairs for cheap, but it was funny. I was like, this is crazy. That is crazy. Drove back with the car, and then after everything was said and done, ended up not really. I didn't want to do the car business for the rest of my life. Yeah. I had no intention to do that. I just wanted to explore and try different things, right? Yeah, I mean, this business was not making tons of money. We were profitable, though, so it's always good when you're not taking a loss. So that's really good. But so then, you were like, there's, you know, like the rest of your life type deal. You're right, like, exactly. Yeah. So then I'm like, all right, well, you know, whenever I forgot to add this in the story, or actually, I forgot to add this in the story. Whenever me and my mom moved up to Beverly, Mass, my mom had, they were a limo company, but they didn't really have any limos at the time. They basically had some Ford Explorers and some Escalades and a couple of Cadillac cars, and they would pick my mom and me up from the airport and then bring us home. And this guy had actually just opened up the limo business in Boston. Okay. And he was probably like 23 years old, and this was in 99. The reason why I remember the date so much is because Tom Brady was a rookie quarterback, and I was like, oh, baby, because he was winning Super Bowl. He was coming out strong right away. So that was always cool. So then while I was in Louisiana, I'm switching back to the placement of where I was. No worries. So while I was in Louisiana, I was still in contact with the guy who my mom got the first limo, who got the first limo ride from. That was the owner of this limo business. He was always one of my best friends. We always talked like nonstop because, like I said, he was close to my age. He is about 7 or 8 years older than me, but he played basketball, and I was always just a basketball fanatic. Like, I always knew everything about the NBA. I collected basketball and baseball cards growing up, and football cards, did all that. Yeah. And so we always had communication, always things to talk about, and not only that, I played in some leagues with him as well whenever I was in high school. So whenever I was in Louisiana dealing with this car lot, I was like, you know what, like, we talked about going into business a lot, me and this limo guy, over different things. And so I was like, well, it'd be really good if I could buy into his limo business, and then we could expand and then just do all kinds of cool things whenever I did that. So me and Ashley did like it in Louisiana, but her family's from Keene, New Hampshire. So we lived, we lived in Louisiana in an apartment for about 2.5, maybe 3 years. I can't remember the exact amount of time, but at least 2.5, 3 years. And so lived in an apartment, did all that work, hung out with the family. Now, my whole dad's side of the family's from Louisiana as well. So we had a lot of my family, everybody hanging around the area, which was actually nice because we got to see all kinds of family members while we were down there. It was really cool. And so we were like, you know what? I don't really think Louisiana is where we want to live for the rest of our life. You know what I mean? Just because it's hot weather in Louisiana and I like the snow. And not only that, I was in basically Boston from high school, from freshman all the way to a senior. And then I went to college and I was like, you know what? I just like being in the northern states. I just want to live here for the rest of my life, really. So I was like, you know what? Let me start talking with Joe, the limo company owner, see if I can work something out. And that's ended up it actually fell into place perfectly. He's like, yeah, dude. He's like, you know what? You take out a loan, you can buy into my business, who he owned the business with his brother, and they had been in business for 20 years. So it's actually a really good limo business. They added to the fleet. I mean, they had a stretch Porsche at this point, a stretch Hummer, they had a stretch Escalade, and like 4 cars for airport runs and whatnot, right? So I was like, this is a perfect business for me to come up, buy into, and then we can expand. So our goal is whenever I got up here to, whenever me and Ashley moved back up here, my goal was to buy into this business and then buy like a Jiffy Lube type business with the limo spot, because it just worked hand in hand together. Like we would have the limo business where, you know what I mean, we do all the car work, but then also the Jiffy Lube business so we can change the oil, have the workers work on the cars in the downtime. And the deal we had worked out with this guy before I actually bought in the business was we had a set number in place to buy his business because he was going out of business not going out of business. He was ready to sell his business because he was ready to retire. Yep. And it was right on Revere, right near the airport, right on 1A right there. I don't know if you know the streets down there in the North Shore, but yeah, right on 1A to where Suffolk Down is, where they were planning on building the casino, basically. Yeah, and then
I've heard of Suffolk.
Yeah, so it's right near the airport, a prime location. Yeah. So after I already bought into the limo business and figured pretty much everything out, you know what I mean? It's simple. It's basically, it's a limo business. People call, you go and pick them up. You know,
and they have a limo for a little bit.
And when you're an owner of the business, I did a ton of the cleaning as well, especially at the start because I wasn't familiar with how everything was handled. You know what I mean? You had to learn stuff. So I'd clean out the cars, get them all prepped up, ready to go. And, so when the time came to where we were ready to actually buy, I'd say probably like 6 months, or no, not even that long, probably like somewhere 3 to 6 months in between, or while in the limo business, we're like, all right, well, let's go buy this property. You know what I mean? We're ready to do it. We had the loans. We were ready to go. Everything was ready. And this guy decided to raise the price $250,000 above the quote of the business, just because he knew we wanted it and how bad we wanted it. Well, we didn't have the money to get that much extra cash. Not only that, but we didn't even want to. Yeah. We weren't ready to invest in something that wasn't going to be worth it. And I felt like, you know what? That's kind of setting us up for like. It put a lot of stress on all of us, really, because we were like, dude, like, I don't know, like, the limo business isn't making enough money for me, all 3 of us. Yeah. I mean, it made money, but, it's a limo. Like, it made enough money for us to get by, but not where we wanted to be. Like, we needed to expand the business. Yeah. And since things just didn't work out after that point, I was probably in the limo business for about a year and a half. But while being in the limo business, it's crazy how this worked out. During down jobs, I was actually Ubering when in the limo. Like when there was downtime, I would Uber as well, just because it worked out. It's like, why wouldn't I have my car right here? Let's just call Uber if we're slow, just to make up the money, right? But while searching for Uber jobs, I could make YouTube videos for mobile games. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make some YouTube videos, not knowing that YouTube made I didn't know anything about money on videos at the time. I literally started a YouTube channel because I had some guildmates in the game I played that I just saw things differently than they saw. So I was like, well, I'll just make a quick video. That way you guys understand. You know what I mean? That's just simple for me. Yeah. I was like, that's easy. You know what I mean? So that's what I did. The first video I ever made is I would record the screen, my phone screen, and then after the video was already made, I'd go back into the video, open it up, and then narrate the video because that's like the technology I had at the time. So I was like, that's kind of how I did it. Yeah. And I didn't talk like while I was doing things. I literally made the video, then went back and just narrated it, which was actually helpful for me to learning as well because I could, you know what I mean? I could mess up and then take it back to where like is the content I'm making now pretty much. If I'm talking, I'd screw up and people just hear my screw up, right? Like, so I just kind of leave it as is. Yeah. So then I was making content while the downtime of the limo business. I'd say I made at least probably 2 to 3 videos a week for the first month, just explaining basic things on the mobile game that I was playing. Now, this game did have, at the time, I believe, like 30 million downloads, which is obviously a ton, right?
Oh my God.
It's a lot of downloads.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about mobile games is it can be really deceiving as far as the downloads goes. Like, a lot of times you'll see, like, oh, this game has 1 million downloads. Well, what mobile games do, at least a lot of them, they'll make it to where players want to achieve something right at the start to where they'll create a new account and then now count, like, as a download, so to speak, which is really weird. So the same players can have up to 10, 20. Like, some of these guys are crazy. Like, some of these players that play these games, if they go in and they want to roll a certain hero right at the start with the gems that they're given, well, if they don't get that specific thing that they're looking for, they'll just re-roll a whole new account. Well, that's counting in, you know what I mean, to how many people actually play the game when really the numbers are fabricated, like an insane amount.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, I was getting... honestly, not that many views on my videos, but I would say, I mean, actually none. I was a brand new channel. Like, for the first, month, I was literally getting no views besides the people I would share in the chat with, right? So then after the first month, my channel did slowly start growing, and then I was like, okay, well, I had 1,000 subs. Still, at this point, had no clue that you could make money from YouTube, which is... you know what I mean? It was crazy because I don't know, I just never had the goal to wherever I was going to make money from my YouTube channel. So it's weird to look back at.
Yeah.
So then my channel slowly started going. Next thing I knew, probably after like the first 3 months, maybe 4 months, maybe 6 months, I can't remember the exact time, and I had 10,000 subscribers. And so then I had 10,000 subscribers, and each video was getting at least 500 views to 1,000 views, sometimes a little bit more. People started saying, like, hey, like, are you getting paid for these videos, whatever? And I'm like, getting paid for my videos? I'm like, no. My channel wasn't even monetized. I went, like, a whole year with time that I could make money from my videos, where my videos literally made no money. So I think I lost out. I lost out on quite a bit of money just from not even knowing, right? Because you don't know that. I was like, okay. So then I was like, all right, you know what? Well, this is cool. I thought the money made from YouTube was from, like, endorsements or people being like, hey, like, show this, show this. I didn't know you could just simply throw ads on your videos and call it a day and make money.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane, right? So I was like, that's crazy. So then I was like, all right, well, I'm going to sign up with this ad company that wants to put ads. It's really cool. They're called Union for Gamers. It's Curse Gaming. And what they do is they go into your YouTube videos and basically just review your content and then put specific ads on your videos to earn you more money. Because like if your ads are attractive to your viewers, they're gonna make more money because they're getting clicked, they're interested, they might download the app that they tell them, whatever the case may be, you're gonna make more money. And I believe that's called CPM in the YouTube world, which is like I can't remember. I don't even know like what that exactly clicks per minute. I don't know what that exactly stands for, but I do know the higher your CPM, the more money you're going to make, because basically it means every 1,000 views you make a specific amount of money. And that can range for a YouTuber anywhere from like $1.50 to, at one point in my prime of last year in November, my channel was making $44 per 1,000 views, which is out of this world.
Yeah, oh
insane.
My God. I've looked into a little bit of the like per 1,000 views. That's a lot of like per 1,000.
It's
oh my
insane.
God.
It's so much. It's so much. I've never had my channel reach that. And the reason, I don't know what it is with like the YouTube algorithm, but they were recommending my videos. The ads were placed perfectly on there. Dude, I was posting videos making like, I had one video made $1,200 and it got like 22,000 views.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's so much money.
Yeah.
That means that I don't know what goes into that, but it's crazy. I was like, this is insane, right? Obviously, so I'm skipping ahead of the story, like a lot. But
okay.
So anyway, back to where I was, growing my YouTube channel. Whenever I first monetized it, like I said, I didn't really have that many views. I think I was gaining like 30 to 50,000 views a month or something. And then that on monetization ended up being like $250 I got for my first ever check from YouTube.
Wow.
And dude, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
As soon as I got $250 from YouTube, I was like, wait, I just made some videos at my house in my spare time and made $250 on this YouTube channel? I'm like, this can't be possible. I'm like, there's no way I just made $250 on this YouTube channel making like 2 videos a week. Like, what is going on?
No, man, it's wild.
That set a spark in my head, boy.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, I'm about to make 15 videos every day. And that's what I did. I was like, dude, there's no way. You know what I mean? So my paycheck went from $250. The very next paycheck was $1,000, which is crazy. So I was like, dude, I just made $1,000 from YouTube in 1 month. Like, this is insane. Like, even if I can have this as part-time, like, this is absolutely absurd. So then still, at the time, I was still in the limo business doing all the jobs and whatnot. And then once things just didn't work out, I still wasn't where I needed to be as far as being a full-time YouTuber at the time while I was in the limo business. But the thing is we were struggling. Like, these two guys had owned their limo business, like I said, for 20 years, and we just weren't making enough money. And during this time, it was the winter months is whenever I was in the business, and the limo business is really slow during the winter as well. So the summer was actually around the corner, where they do tend to make quite a bit of money, obviously, during the summer. But things we were trying to get the ball rolling rather quickly. We weren't just trying to sit around, and we were trying to buy into this other business, get in, to where we needed to be. And since that didn't work out, I actually got bought out of the limo business.
Oh, man.
Which was a sad time, because I really did I still am best friends with these guys, both owners of the limos, and will do business with them in the future. Hopefully we're always running business ideas between each other nonstop. So really love those guys over there. If y'all want to check them out, it's Expo Limousine on Route 1 in Danvers.
There you go.
Yeah, anybody around the Boston area that needs a limo limo for anything, proms, whatever you need.
That's awesome, man.
So yeah, that was really cool. So then once I sold out, I was like, wow, well, what am I gonna do? Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't even have a job. Here I am in my mom's house in Boston that she's actually getting ready to sell because the real estate market was so good. She's like, hey son, like, she didn't come up to Boston anymore. She's like, I got bad news. Like, I need to sell this house up here. Yeah. And me and Ashley are like, oh, okay, great. Like, you need to sell the house up here. That's it's kind of crazy, but all right. Well, that sounds good. So then me and Ashley looked around, all around the area of where we were. But honestly, dude, we couldn't find anything in our price range in the North Shore of Boston, which was sad times because we really like being in the North Shore. So it stunk. So we were like, I mean, even for like hundreds of thousands of dollars, you get nothing. Yeah. Like, you literally get nothing. So we were like, this is crazy. We were like, all right, well, let's do some exploring. And like I said, her parents were from Keene, New Hampshire. So we were looking around the areas of Keene, which actually isn't that far from here. So I was like, you know what? We had like 4 houses that fit our budget, and also they were really in the middle of nowhere, all 4 of them, but they all had a decent house and a decent yard, and that was what was really important to me. I just wanted like a yard in my backyard, so I could play with my dog, do whatever I wanted, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have a garden, do it. Like, I like to do all kinds of different things, so I just wanted a backyard, so that was really important to me. So we got a house with a backyard, and that's in New Boston, where I met you. So yeah, so we live in New Boston, and then I was like, I really got to get going with this YouTube career, because then at the time of whenever I got bought out from the limo business, I was actually making like probably $2,000 a month from YouTube, which honestly is enough. Like, that's a decent. Some people make that as their full-time job. Like, that's decent money.
Yeah.
Right? So I was making $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
But investing a little bit of that money also in the game that I played, which was a pretty expensive pay-to-play game. That's the thing about mobile games, the difference between mobile and PC. But it actually works out perfect for me because whenever I was younger, I had the quick reflexes. I was good at the games, not at the pro level, but I was always good at games. Well, now with the mobile games and how I like and what I see with YouTube and how it works, like, I think it's really important for me to pick up on a mobile game where you can spend a little bit of money to get a little bit of an edge, to be able to explain everything that's going on, you know what I mean? That's the type of game that I look for. That's what I'm looking for right now. That's what I've based my channel on, and that's how I grew it. So then, once I started to go really hard with YouTube, I started getting offers from all kinds of different companies like, hey, advertise my game, do this, do that.
Wow.
And so I was like, all right, do I want to start advertising games? Because they were offering like $500 to $1,000 for like up to 1 to 3 videos. And so I was like, all right, but obviously you got to go into the game, you got to learn everything about it, and then talk about the game and then recruit players. So then I was like, you know what? That's kind of like negative towards my channel if I recruit players for another game. The people that are watching my videos, do I even want them playing something else, or do I want to be that person that recruits? So I was like, I don't really know how much I really want to do that. So I kind of ignored all the offers I got at the start. Well, then came this company out of London called Space Apes. They've made some pretty big mobile games, and one of their biggest mobile games is Rival Kingdoms. They also have Samurai Siege, if any of you guys heard of that, and they also have this one game that I worked with called Transformers Earth Wars. And this lady contacted me, and she was like, hey JT, like, I have a great deal for you. I'll give you $5,000 a month if you recruit for my game. And I'm like, what? And this is when I remember, this is when I was making like $2,000 a month. I only had 30,000 subscribers, dude. I only had 30,000, I mean, which is a decent amount, but I had 30,000 subscribers. Totally. Not very many views, a decent amount of views on my videos. I think I had maybe like 500,000 views a month, something around there. I can't remember the exact numbers. And she's like, yeah, so we want you to recruit for the game. We'll give you $5,000 a month. And yeah, just send all your players over here. Depending on how it goes, we'll keep this contract going.
Oh my God.
So I was like, okay. I'm like, I'm about to recruit everybody.
Done.
I'm like, all right. So what they did is they gave me a specific loot code that basically attached to my name. So anybody that downloaded this app through this loot code, they could see everything about them. So they could see how much time they're playing the game, how much money they spent, you know what I mean? Everything. They could see all the statistics, right? So I ended up getting this company within the first month. I think I'd recruited like 2,500 people, which is an absurd amount of people, especially when it's people that are spending money. And my guys are spending upwards to $50,000 to $100,000 a month on this game from my channel. And I'm like, once I saw that, I'm like, I had players that are spending this much money on mobile games. Like, remember, I'm playing a game that doesn't require you. There are more free-to-play players than pay-to-play players in the game that I'm playing. But if you spend $10, you can just get so much stuff compared to as if you don't spend nothing.
Yeah,
so
and if all those people do that, it's like...
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then if they, in certain games, like, dude, you'll see situations where people spend $500 in a day on some of these mobile games. Like, people that aren't in the mobile gaming world don't actually realize or see. It's crazy because whenever I first downloaded this mobile game, the first thing I said was, I'm not spending $1.
Yeah.
Like, there is no way in hell I'm spending $1 on any of these mobile games. Like, I'll never do it.
Oh, yeah.
So then, of course, after the first month of playing, you're like, well, man, I'm investing all this time. I can just pay $10 and get all that. I'm like, all right, done. You know what I mean? So then one thing leads to another. You spend that $10, the next thing you know, you spend $50, and you're spending, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it happens. That's what happens. And a lot of these players get sunk in, and then they're in an investment to where they're like, well, now I've done spent $300 in this game. I can't quit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They're like,
it's like the continuous thing.
Yeah, and that's like, I got to spend another $5. Wow. I got to spend another $10.
Yeah.
So that's how these mobile games trap you in.
Yeah.
And God, where was that right then? So, recruiting for this company out in London. So the game was real similar to the game that I had actually played. So it ended up working out perfect. I play like a Clash of Clans based game.
Yeah.
You've heard of Clash of Clans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's basically the same thing as Clash of Clans. And this game, Transformers Earth Wars, was basically Clash of Clans, but in a Transformer vibe with all the Transformer characters, which I didn't but I didn't know anything about Transformers at the time, but I started learning, as I was recruiting for this company. So after the first 2 months of recruiting, this lady contacted me and she's like, hey, like, you're doing so well, like, recruiting. We want to keep you on, for another 6 months. But not only that, we want to fly you to London and we want you to host our Transformers live stream that we're going to have for our game. And I was like, really? I'm like, well, that's amazing. I'm like, all right, well, I'm ready. You know what I mean? So next thing I knew, I flew to London. And this is whenever I knew, like, well, dang, like, YouTube really has potential to where I just need to focus all my time in doing it. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason. Like, I'm not just going to go look for a 9-to-5 job when I can make the same amount of money YouTube and doing what I'm doing right here. Yeah. Especially if I have potential to grow, and nobody can stop how much growth I can possibly have. Like, I'm in control. If I want to post 100 videos in a day, I can do that. Nobody, you know what I mean? If I want to take the day off, you can do that. Like,
you're your own boss.
Right, you're your own boss, and you control basically everything. So that was amazing. So then I ended up flying to London, and this was really cool. I don't know if I regret not accepting this job or not, but while I was there in London, they offered me a 3-month job to a fully paid housing, everything in London to stay and recruit for the other apps that they had.
Oh, man.
And so I was like, this is really tough on me. At this time, I was, me and Ashley were, I don't know, we were right on the borderline of being married. I can't remember if we've been married for 3 years. Oh, no. 3 years. Yeah. So we were already married, and were we married? Yeah. We were already, not that it even matters. We were already married, and so I was like, I don't know, like London for 3 months. My wife doesn't even do good at the house by herself, so I'm like, it's really not gonna work out like that well. Plus, I didn't like being in London by myself. Like, I didn't really like that vibe. And I was like, you know what? If I recruit for this game, these 3 games, and things don't work out, I'm going to kill my YouTube channel because I'm going to be working for this company and not even focusing on my YouTube channel. So I was just looking at a bunch of things that probably I should have been looking out for myself. You know what I mean? That's what I was thinking. I was like, I can grow this YouTube channel without this company, but then still make money just recruiting for this company with this specific game, you know? And that's kind of what I went with. So I didn't end up moving to London, which I think probably was a smart move. But then at the same time, it might have been a dumb move because I could have, you know, made my own app, so to speak. Like there's a lot of progression. Like they don't just, the way this company ran was, I've never seen a gaming company ran like this. It was absolutely amazing. Like there's no level. If you go there, put in the work, like that's the type of person I am. I'm going to put in however much, I'll stay after time, no problem doing pretty much anything if I know I can achieve a certain goal or have that vision, right?
Wow,
so yeah, I could see that this company was really nice and I could probably achieve certain goals there, but then at the same time I'm in London and it's not really like what I wanted to do.
Yeah, your wife was back home.
Yeah, and my wife was back home and she definitely didn't want to leave her family and just come to London for 3 months. And it's not like they were paying me some absurd amount of money. They weren't like, oh, here's $100,000 like each month, like come to London. No, it was like, here's like housing and that's all you get. Like work your way up. Yeah. So I'm like,
here are groceries.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, all right. So then, I didn't end up doing that, but did keep in contact with this company because obviously they can come out with new mobile games in the near future. Now, one thing to know about YouTube and any game in general, from what I've seen, is if you don't move forward with what fans like, you're going to fall behind. And that's kind of like where my channel is as of right now. And so for basically like the last, I'd say 6 months, November and December of last year was the best my channel's ever done. But then the game came out with an update that made the game a little bit, the company got a little bit they got really greedy and made an update where basically you can't have a certain thing in the game unless you pay money. So then it's like, all right, so players can't even play to achieve this item. You literally have to spend money to get it type deal, where that's like a game killer. It's like, all right, well, nobody wants that. Like, nobody wants something you have to spend money to get. Basically, in mobile games, like to be successful, at least in my opinion, you want to be able to spend money basically to just save time or to buy like cosmetic things for the game. Yeah. You don't want to spend money to get like an advance to where you have a hero that other players can't have and you can just smoke everybody. That's not going to make the game fun. So that's actually what the game that I'm currently YouTubing right now did. So as soon as they started doing things like that, I was like, wow. I was like, all right, well, I'm really going to fall behind if I don't switch to another mobile game. And luckily in November and December, like I was saying, dude, I was making insane amounts of money. Like I cleared like $30,000 in those months, like absolutely insane amounts of money for YouTube, like crazy money. So I'm like, I'm going to reinvest all this money in mobile games because that's where my heart was. That's what I wanted to do. So in January, February, March, I took this huge risk and made a new YouTube channel completely separate to the one I already had on a game that was not sponsoring me, just a game that I personally played, thought it had a chance of going viral. And actually, let me back up. Let me come back to where I was. I want to back up right quick, guys. Because there was actually a moment before that where I invested. I already knew that when Pokemon Go came out. I don't know if you remember when Pokemon Go came out.
2016, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So right when Pokemon Go came out, I actually played Pokemon Go for 3 months straight, probably like 12 hours a day to build one of the best accounts in the game. And I was actually level 35 at the time. You can look back at my YouTube channel when people were like nowhere to be seen in Pokemon Go. Dude, I was insane in Pokemon Go. I'd literally travel in my car, go catch Pokemon all day just because I wanted to build an account for YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so here's the mistake I made. This is one decision I definitely regret with YouTube. So I made probably like 10 videos on Pokemon Go. And while making these videos, basically the whole time I was like, I just don't think my Castle Clash audience is liking this. I was worried about the comments. I was worried about what people thought. I was worried about my fan base. And Pokemon wasn't like my favorite thing in the world. I was kind of doing it for the YouTube point, but I just saw visions with Pokemon Go with how popular it was. So then I ended up making 10 videos. Dude, each video got around 500,000 views, which is absolutely insane. But for some reason, I don't know why, I didn't switch to Pokemon Go. I went back to Castle Clash and started playing Castle Clash nonstop. And just like, what happened was me and Ashley went on our honeymoon. And I couldn't play for that week while I was on my honeymoon, and it discouraged me a little bit because I felt like I'd fallen behind a little. I don't know what the case was. Either way, I stopped YouTube and Pokemon Go, which was definitely the worst decision of my entire life, like as in the YouTube field, because dude, I would be a multi-millionaire if I would have went with it. Because whenever I look back at those Pokemon Go videos, I just had everything set up so well. Like I was doing things at the time because I had owned the limo company as well.
Yeah.
And since I owned the limo company, did you ever play Pokemon Go? Or
yeah. Oh yeah. Me and my friends played all the time.
So do you know I got to show you some of these videos after this. You're gonna freak out. So there was, you know how you could control a tower, like, depending on what team you were. All right, so I took advantage of the limo company and would drive the limos around with a group of 15 people, and we'd go take towers all around Massachusetts. It was insane. Like, I was going all out with videos.
It was like a powerhouse.
Yeah, it was. It was a powerhouse, dude. We had all players top level in, like, the state. I'm not even kidding. I found, like, the best of the best players. And we were traveling around in the limo company. We'd all hop out the limo at the same time and just murder towers and take everything. Like, we would have everything in every city. And they're like, man, these guys are crazy. And so, yeah, I don't know why. I really don't know why specifically I didn't continue with Pokemon Go. I honestly think it was just I was worried about my fan base, and that's not if you're going to be a YouTuber, you can't worry about that. You know, I was still in the midst of being a new YouTuber. Like whenever I started Pokemon Go, I think that was actually right before I got that contract with Space Apes. And so I wasn't really making big money yet. I was just trying to find the gist of what all I needed to do, right? So yeah, whenever I look back, some of those Pokemon Go videos make thousands of dollars. I mean, I have like 6 videos with 1 million views on Pokemon Go.
Oh my!
It's crazy, right? And I only made 10 videos.
Oh my!
So it's wild to look back, and some of those are like the easiest videos ever, right? I'm just like, oh, let's evolve Blastoise or whoever, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was easy. It was easy. But yeah, so then going back forward to where I was, didn't hop on Pokemon Go, just wanted to explain that. Wish I would have. That was definitely a regret. So after I made all this money last year in November, December, I was like, you know what? I'm going to invest a ton of money into a new mobile game, become the top player in this mobile game, be the top player in the world, play this game day in and day out, learn every single thing about it, and that was my goal once I started making money on YouTube. I'm like, once the right mobile game comes out, that's what I'm gonna do, and that's still to this day what I plan on doing with the right mobile game. I just haven't found the game that I'm ready to latch onto yet. But I thought I did with this one game that came out from a company who had success in the past, so they had a good background. And they are a pay-to-play. It is a pay-to-play game, but it's not so bad because the free-to-play players, like I said, can achieve everything that the pay-to-play players can achieve. So
that's good. That's good.
It was really good. So I played this game for 2 months and YouTubed it on a new YouTube channel for 2 months. Tons of videos, dude. Like 10 videos every day.
Oh my!
It was great, or maybe not, maybe 5 to 10 videos every day. Went hard on it because I was investing all this money.
Oh yeah.
And I invested around like $25,000 in 2 months into this mobile game, which is everything that I had made from the previous months.
Yep.
And dude, this game came out with the same type update that this other game did. Just, dude, it literally went from thousands of players to none within the matter of 1 day. Like, it was a bad update. Like, they killed the entire game. Now, this game wasn't insanely popular, and I probably, even if they did keep coming out with perfect updates, I probably made a bad choice with the game that I hopped on board with. But it's not, my channel was still growing. Like, I had views getting 4,000 or 5,000 views per video on this new channel that I made, and I already had like 1,500 subscribers, so the channel was growing. But the second they came out with this update, what's crazy is I had another YouTuber who I've always been basically best friend. I am best friends with him now, and I met him through YouTube, just from mobile gaming. And we're basically like, well, what game are you going to hop onto? Because I'm going to hop on with you after we both test it out and see what goes on. Shout out my man Poke. What's up, brother? All right, so we found this game. It was called Skylanders Ring of Heroes.
I know Skylanders,
dude.
I think.
Yeah, so I found Skylanders Ring of Heroes. That was the game that I invested all this money into, and the game that got killed. And so once that happened, dude, it sent my life into, like, I was somewhere I've never been before. Like, I was so depressed, dude. Like, just thinking back at those times, goodness, I'm like getting sad. Like, dude, it was rough.
Yeah. Yeah. Hit hard.
Dude, you can't, like, when you invest that much money and something gets killed, like something I've worked for so hard, it was brutal, dude.
Yeah.
Like, crazy brutal. I was so sad, dude. I'm like, man, I just felt like a failure. I'm like, this is tough, man. Like, I don't know where I'm going to go because I just invested, like, everything I made. What am I going to do next? Like, do I just go back to playing this other game that I've been playing, but they're going more towards, like, a pay-to-play base? Or should I just find a new game? Like, what should I do? Like, dude, I was really in a rough spot. Like, I was struggling. Like, I woke up every morning and couldn't even think about making a video. I'm like, no. Like, I can't do it.
It was like just it brought you lower than
you. Here I am about it, but yeah, dude, it was tough.
No, yeah, that's one of the like when you put your all into something, and then
it just fails. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, whew,
yeah.
That was a rough blow. So I'm like, all right, well, I got to move on from this. And so, I mean, that's basically what I did. So I'm like, all right, well, let's go ahead and move on. Let's just eat that loss. Let's start making daily grind videos back on the same content of Castle Clash. Now, meantime, I'd already told my fan base, like, hey, guys, like, I'm thinking about moving on to another game because, you know, Castle Clash basically is at this point of view where I'm not a huge fan of, which basically I made tons of my fans that I already had quit Castle Clash because I'm telling them, like, hey, like, the game's kind of falling apart, you know, this and this. And here I am trying to come back to the game because this other game failed. So I was in a really weird spot, and I'm like, this is kind of strange, right? I'm like, I didn't know what to do. So I'm like, well, the best thing I can do is just start looking for new games and continue the content on Castle Clash because I still have a huge fan base with, you know, that content. And I still enjoy playing the game and still can explain all kinds of things with the game of Castle Clash. I just don't personally like where the company's going with the game. And whenever I'm YouTubing things on a daily, I'm a real person. Like, whenever I make these videos, I like to explain exactly what's going on, good or bad. I don't like to have fake news in any of my videos. I don't like to tell people one thing if it's not really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So my fan base knows that about me as well. So I couldn't, like, fake certain things. So when the company would, like, do these horrible things, I would dress up as, like, the company owner and make a video, like, calling them out on it. You know what I mean? Just make funny videos. So that's just the type of person I was with it. I'm like, all right, well, I'm calling them out on all this stupid stuff they're doing. You know, if they don't fix it, it's whatever. There's nothing really I can do. So then after, like, 4 months, after the 4 months goes by, which this has actually happened recently this year, and so I was like, all right, I got to hop on to a new game. And then luckily the Space Apes had contacted me right after all this had happened, and they're like, hey, like, we have a new game coming out. It's called Rumble League. We want to fly you and your wife out to Punta Cana, and I think we might want you to recruit for this new game, depending on what it is. We at least want you to test it out. And so I'm like, oh. I'm like, well, that's amazing. Things just kind of fall into place, right? So I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'll fly back out. And actually, I take that back. They flew me to London for this is crazy. They flew me back to London to test this game out. I forgot they did this. They flew me to London, and then a week later, they flew me to Punta Cana, which is with my wife. So they flew me to London. I stayed there for a week, got to meet up with all kinds of cool YouTubers, and then hung out, and it was a great time. And then flew back home. And while I was home, the guy who was making the game called Rumble League, this is a crazy story. So this guy used to be the #1 player in Clash of Clans. His name's George Yao, which some of you guys might know. He's high up at Space Apes now, and he was creating the game Rumble League. And so this was somebody like that I could look up to because I'm like, all right, well, I'm playing a game kind of like Clash of Clans. Maybe I'll be in his position one time. You know what I mean? Creating games. Like, I literally saw that vision.
Oh, yeah.
So then I was like, this is freaking awesome. So the fact that he was inviting me to London to do all this stuff was absolutely amazing. So then he contacts me and he's like, hey, JT, bro. He's like, I got a really nice trip for you if you want to come on it. He's like, somebody just canceled out. He's like, I have a trip with like 10 different YouTubers. Every YouTuber has over like million. Dude, these guys have millions of subscribers. He's like, yeah, you would definitely be like the low guy here. But he's like, the reason why I want to bring you isn't really because anything to do with the game. He's like, I just like hanging out with you. And also I think you will make these YouTubers like vibe in a way like to where everybody can connect. Because just I'm an outgoing person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, sick. I'm like, me and my wife will go on this trip. You know what I mean? Like just hang out with other YouTubers.
Like, I am down.
So then we got there, and I got to meet up with literally some of the guys that are making the most money in the YouTube gaming industry, right? Like Orange Juice Gaming was there. He's the #1 Clash Royale YouTuber. I got to meet up with Chief Pat, who is another one of the #1 gaming YouTubers for Clash Royale as well. Just some of these guys, like huge, and 2 of the biggest Fortnite stars as well through YouTube. Like, got to meet up with so many people and learn so much stuff. And my head is just questioning them about everything. And one of the most valuable things I learned while I was there was I could add extra ads to my videos. Dude, I did not know this because this was back when it first started. So if you make a video over 10 minutes long, you can add as many advertisements to it as you want. I literally did not know that. I was making, not that I was even focusing on 10-minute videos. My goal was just to get as many videos out as I can. Because a 2-minute video to me made the same amount of money as a 10-minute video, unless there is certain retention times where it does make a little bit more money. But for most cases, if you don't add extra ads to a 10-minute video, it's going to make the same amount of money as a 5-minute video, right? So because the money's at the start. So then whenever I got back from Punta Cana, I was like, this is huge. Like, I can add ads to all these 10-minute videos, which actually made my YouTube channel earn more money all in all. So that was a really good experience. We got to hang out in Punta Cana. My wife came down there, and actually I got to meet up with these guys called the Dangy Bros, which is their channel now. It was first Cam and Jeff, and so now these guys had this channel called the Dangy Bros, which was really cool because I got to meet up with them. And these guys have, I think, 3 million followers now, and every video they post has millions of views. So I was like, wow. So then whenever I was watching what they were doing, I was like, maybe I can like recreate some type of channel like what they're doing, but in my own way. So I was like, I think I can pretty much do that, you know what I mean? So I thought about it a lot, talked with some friends about it, and then made 2 vlog videos, you know, kind of similar to the type of content that they were making. And whenever I rewatched the vlog videos that I made, they just weren't that good. It wasn't for me. I'm like, this isn't what I need to be doing. Like, my sole reason for being on YouTube is to be dealing with mobile games, just because I'm not good. I'm good talking to the camera, but I'm not good at like just the whole. I just could see. I know. I can watch a video and see if it's good or not. Right? My videos aren't that great. I was like, this isn't that great. Like the editing's good, everything looks good, but just my interaction with the camera and everything just wasn't as funny as I thought I could be. You know what I mean? Just didn't work out. So I was like, all right, well, we got to move on to something else besides that. And then the Rumble League came along, so I was playing Rumble League for quite a while, and that was going on well, but the only thing is that game was in beta and not actually launched. So if it's not launched globally, you can't have a successful YouTube career on any mobile game, because what they do is they go through like a beta form to where they test out the game. Could be anywhere from like 6 months to 2 years, where they just leave the game in beta to where, you know, smaller countries can download the game, test the game out, and they can basically get an idea of like, well, do we want to release this game globally and have to continue to work on it for the rest of our lives, basically? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because once a bunch of people come in, you know what I mean, they're stuck to that game. So a lot of companies, all the big companies, they'll test all these games out, and then they'll just kill the game. They'll just say, oh, you know what, we did invest, you know, $500,000 or even more than that, you know what I mean, tons of money into this game. We're just going to kill it and just throw it under the rug and just take that loss instead of releasing it globally and then make it an even worse circumstance. So that's what a lot of these game companies do.
Okay.
So with Rumble League, that's exactly what happened. I was playing this game for quite a while, you know, me and a couple of different friends, and they decided just to kill the game. So then the game was swiped under the rug. So then that game was no longer an option for me to switch my YouTube channel to. So I was like, wow. I was like, all right, well, that sucks. So I was like, well, what's next? And then a new game came out. To beta, and this was made by a company called Supercell, actually the creators of Clash of Clans. And anything made by that company literally just goes mainstream. Like, it goes viral just because they advertise so much. Like, anywhere you go, you see advertisements for Supercell's games. Even though, like, some of them are pretty good, but honestly, like, the quality isn't as good as some of the other games out there. But the amount of money they spend on advertising doesn't matter. Like, their games get through, and they know how the competition works. Like, how to make it to where you can pay money and still have fun if you're free to play as well. Yeah. So they got it really down pat. So then I was like, oh wow, Supercell's coming out with a new game. I was like, all right, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I'm going to get into this. I'm going to go in. I'm going to invest some money with Supercell's new game that they have out. It came out in Canada, so I created a new Apple ID. I switched all my information to Canada, and then right when this game came out to beta, I invested $3,000 in it, basically like the first week, to fully max out my account, and I was ready to just go hard. Learn everything about it.
All or nothing.
Yeah, well, see, it's not, the thing is whenever I go into a new mobile game, I'm not like trying to pretend like that I'm absolutely amazing at this game necessarily. More so just like I'm ready to get in, spend the money, learn everything there is to know about the game in every way, and then just explain everything. Just there's no limits. I'll explain every single thing there is.
And then people are like,
people want to know.
Yeah, they click on the video like, oh, I didn't know you could do that or this.
Right. Like, oh, okay, you know, that's a really smart idea. Like, this guy sees something in a weird way. I would have never attacked a base like that. What? You know what I mean? Just certain things like that, right? So
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's how it was. So then this new game came out. It was called Rush Wars, came out with beta in Canada. So I hopped on, spent the money in this game, and actually so did my buddy as well.
Okay.
He jumped on board with me. He spent because that's how much it cost to fully max out the account at the time in beta was $3,000. That's what we spent.
Yep.
Both spent $3,000 on the game, fully maxed out our account, and we were ready to go with YouTube videos. And the reason why we did this while the game was in beta, which is a risky move because we don't know if the game's going to get released, right? So. But here's the thing. The last game that Supercell came out with, which is called Brawl Stars, I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not.
No, actually.
Yeah, so Brawl Stars is a game that they came out with, and the game went global, and it blew up massively. But when the game was in beta, everything was a lot cheaper than when it was released globally.
Okay.
So let's say you can max out an account for $3,000 while it's in beta.
Yeah.
Well, then when it goes global, it could cost $20,000 to max it out, right? Depending on what's going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll just take this risk. I'm going to pay the $3,000. I'm going to max out this account. If the game goes global, I'll already have the investment in there. It's ready to go. I'm going to be ready to do it.
Roll those dice.
So, yeah. So then on November 7th, so this month, Rush Wars came out, and they're like, yeah, well, we're canceling the game. So I'm like, what? I'm like, come on, man. Like, y'all are canceling the game too? Literally, 2019 has just been a rough year for mobile games. Like, I can't find what I want to hop on board with next. Every time I find a good game, it's like it either gets canceled or it's just not working out. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, they're canceling the game. I'm like, well, what happens to my investment because I was curious. I'm like, well, what do I do? So I went and I contacted their support, and they're like, well, here's what you can do. You can either transfer your money to any of our games that we already have, which unfortunately I didn't play any of them. So I was like, well, that's not an option for me. I don't want to do that. I just want a refund, right? Yeah. It's like, well, you're going to have to contact either Google or Apple support. And dude, this was crazy because I actually recorded this whole combo in case this happened with Apple support. I don't know if I'm going to release this on my YouTube video or not, but Apple literally stole that money from me. They wouldn't give it back, and which is crazy because this app is no longer going to be an app anymore. They're killing the entire app. So I called Apple, explained to them the entire situation. Like I said, I recorded the combo. Normally, they should refund that with no issue. I've never heard it being an issue ever. Yeah. And they're like, no, sorry, like these purchases, they can't be refunded. Like, there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they're canceling the entire app. Like, you can't just put this credit back into my store where I can spend this money on a different mobile game. I'm like, that's absolutely absurd. I'm not going to have nothing. Yeah. Like, I just invested $3,000. I'm literally going to have nothing once they delete the app.
Yeah, that's insane.
And so I'm like, all right, well, so I'm going through that right now. So I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. So I'm literally looking for somebody that can pay me something to where I can just transfer the gems I had on Rush Wars onto one of the games, one of the other games that Supercell had. You know, like somebody that has another account that's willing to be like, you know what, I'll give you, 25% of what you spent. So here's $750. Give me the $3,000 worth on that game. There are players out there. So that's what I'm in the midst of looking for right now, because it's just a weird situation. I don't know why Apple didn't refund me in that situation, but yeah, it was really, really strange, and I've never heard of anybody in the past have issues with refunds that have spent money on beta games. Supposedly they just refund with no issue. That's what I've always thought. I would never have thought that.
Yeah, they just keep the money you spent, while the app was completely dying, or dead.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's like you buy a dog or you buy a piece of furniture, and then the person's like, oh, it's not available.
Well, then it disappears.
Yeah, and then it disappears, and then after you pay for it, it's like, that's bogus.
That can't happen.
That's bogus.
It's like, what? I'm like, but it's Apple. It's like, what do you do if it's Apple? Apple's telling me no, like, okay, what am I going to do? Fight Apple over $3,000?
They're a team of lawyers.
It's like, I can't, I'm in a really tough situation here, so I'm like, this is insane. So, of course, I just recorded the phone call, and I was thinking about blasting Apple, but I'm like, is that really necessary? Like, dude, is that what I want to do? Like, I don't know. So I explained it to my live stream, which I had just 2 days ago. I had 400 people watching, and I was like, what do you guys think of this situation? And they were all in the same thing as me, like, dude, that's insane. Like, that's crazy. It is. It's crazy. Yeah. Like, I wasn't just out here thinking on my own. Like, that's crazy that they don't refund that money. Yeah. So then I was out $3,000 with that, and now basically to end the story, I mean, I'm still making good money from YouTube. My views are still there. Everything's going good. But I'm always looking for that next level, right? I'm looking for something else to turn my YouTube channel into. Like I said, I wish it was Pokemon Go back in the day. Didn't hop on board with that. The latest games I've chosen just haven't really met par. So they haven't even been released, the two that I was on. So I got, obviously, constantly looking at what's coming out in the future. So I have my mind set on a couple of different games here and there. One of them being Diablo Immortals, which I don't know if you know anything about Blizzard and Diablo. It's a
I've heard of Diablo, and Blizzard did.
They did do. They've done everything.
Yeah,
Hearthstone, Overwatch.
Okay,
they've done big computer games, but now they're starting to come on with mobile with Diablo. Which, if you search Diablo Immortals on YouTube, the whole Diablo fan base was just going crazy. I mean, they're going crazy about it in a negative way and a positive way. There's so many different outlooks, which is really good for the game. And the game's going to blow up just because it's made by the company it's made by, right? So it's like, all right, that's definitely an option for me to hop on board with next. But also, Castle Clash 2's coming out, which is the game I actually played. The game is called Castle Clash. So with the second version of that coming out with the same company, I mean, it makes sense. If my channel's on Castle Clash, why wouldn't I hop on the second version of the game, like the new thing, right?
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to be hopping on board with that. But in the meantime, I'm basically just making daily content on Castle Clash as of right now, just grinding it out. Doing what you got to do to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
So, and I do still enjoy it. It's not like I'm making these videos not enjoying it. I'm still enjoying making the videos. And I'm actually, for all you guys out there, I wanted to remind y'all that are watching this content, I'm going to be hosting the Castle Clash live stream for this Thanksgiving on their Facebook page, which is really cool because they got like 1.9 million likes or something.
Oh my god!
So that's going to be a fun experience, hosting the live stream on their actually Facebook, which will be cool. So yeah, I'm doing that on November 26th at 4 p.m. I don't know if this video is going to be up by then. If not, it's not even a big deal. But yeah, if you guys are watching this and want to see that live stream, I'll be there.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that'll be really cool. I'm actually looking forward to that. And it's actually cool because they gave me like $2,500 worth of stuff to give away, which is amazing. So I'm like, all right, well, this is sweet. You know what I mean? The company did that. Really cool. Really cool. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at with my YouTube career. Been through some rough patches, but all in all, I think that anybody out there that wants to become a YouTuber, man, if you can see if you have the vision, if you can see yourself being able to explain something differently, especially in the gaming world that other people just don't see like you do, like, man, you should hop on board with it. If you have the ability to look at a camera and make videos and be confident about it, that's what I did, and heck, I grew my channel like that, so I would definitely advise it, because there's a lot of people always out there, they're always like, how do you grow your channel, how do you do this, how do you do that?
Yeah.
It's just dedication, man. You can't, the number one thing I've seen hundreds of new YouTubers come out in the gates, and what they do is they'll YouTube for like the first month, make like 10 to 20 videos, those videos won't do anything, and then they'll stop, they'll feel incompetent, and then they'll just end up quitting. And even people that have been YouTubing for months, you just got to go harder. That's what it is. It's not. And then, okay, so if you do make 5,000 videos and you didn't go anywhere, obviously maybe YouTube's not for you. I can't, explain certain things, but you do got to put in the work for the YouTube algorithm to pick you up, to recommend you to other people. That's very, very important, because if YouTube's not recommending your video, there's literally zero ways for anybody to find out about you, right?
Yeah.
And a simple shout out. It sounds cool, but shout outs really, in my opinion, they really don't do that much.
Yeah.
They do a little bit, but not that much. Like the people that are, whoever's shouting you out, the fans that they got are fans of their channel. They're not fans of your channel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you do get a shout out, yeah, it's cool to gain 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, because that's normally what happens. Like I've given shout outs in the past, and yeah, people will gain 1,000, 2,000 subscribers, but it's not like loyal, dedicated subscribers that care about what these people are doing on their channel.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be a little bit of help, but all in all, people really think it's a lot bigger of a help, because like I've run into a lot of situations where other YouTubers are like, man, I'm going to blow up because this dude's going to give me a shout out. It's dude, like,
it's about the
you're
work.
Going to be depressed. Like you might get a couple 5,000, however many subscribers you got. It's not, those aren't even the subscribers you need. Subscribers literally mean nothing. Like my channel, for example, was making like 5 times more money than a couple people I know with 2 million subs. And so, which sounds weird, but it's all about retention. It's all about what your videos can do, right? So back in November, whenever I was telling you I was making all that money in December, those are the highest paying months for YouTubers, November and December, by like a long shot.
Really?
Yeah, by like, it's not even close. So like you make all this money November, December, then when January, just to give you an example, I think I made like $5,200 in January. After making all that money in November, December, like stupid money, right? So then it just all falls back down, because I don't know what it is with YouTube. The ads just don't pay the same. So I don't know. I don't really actually have a reason, or even know. I don't know why. I haven't looked into it, or I just know that the last quarter of the year pays by far the most. So that's really when you want to put all your time into YouTube, if obviously you're a content creator. So dang, what was I saying like right before this? I had something I wanted to key in on and I had forgot.
Let's see. I thought I was gonna no, it's all good. I was curious about like some of your Like as you've been doing this for 3 years now. You've gone through the ups and downs.
Yeah, it's probably been 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, because I was thinking 3 years, but honestly, I think I started this in 2016.
Oh wow!
Because I was because you said Pokemon Go came out in 2016.
Summer of 2016. Yep.
So now that you said that, I know I've been going for 4 years now because. Like I said, I already had 20,000 subs whenever I hopped on that Pokemon Go bandwagon. So I'd already started. So that's around. I had already been a YouTuber for about probably a year before Pokemon Go came out. Maybe like a half a year, something like that.
Yeah. No, I was curious because like, what have some of been some of the most beneficial like tips that you've gotten, tips or tricks that you've gotten for your channel? Do you think that could maybe relate to other gaming channels as well as other channels?
Tips and tricks that I've personally got?
Yeah, like, because I'm curious myself, because
here's one thing to look at.
It's like, the one thing is consistency that I've looked at is really important. It's like putting out
consistency
videos.
For sure, but one other thing is, if you're wanting to be a YouTuber, you got to think like, well, am I going to be able to, like for you in your situation with this type of content, it's hard for you to make 10 videos. It's impossible for you to make more than really one video a day. Yeah. Like, it's impossible. You can't do that. So, like, that's something you kind of got to look at because it's kind of tough unless you do grow to where you're, like, absolutely big and blowing up.
Yeah.
It's tough to get the views. Like, if I can create 10 videos a day and get 5,000 views each video, that means, somebody that only makes one video a day, they got to get 50,000 views to equivalent to where I'm at. Yep. So that's always kind of what I've looked at, like, when making videos. Like, okay, well, all these mobile games have millions and millions of players, and if I can make 10 to 15 videos a day, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot of work and a lot of effort, but it's not impossible to do. Like, there's been tons of, like, I had one day where I made 32 videos in one day. Like, that's...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and I posted them all on my channel. My fan base was freaking out. They're like, dude, are you, like, what's wrong with this guy? Like,
are you sleeping?
And then a lot of the times, too, once you grow a gaming channel, this is very beneficial that I found out for me personally, is I can go live on YouTube, have however many people, it varies, at minimum normally have like 300 people watching, but it can grow up depending on what the topic is or if I'm giving something away. If I'm giving something away, then people always like to tune in. You guys know how that works. I know moms out there. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, they're always like, I just want the giveaways. I just want the giveaways. Oh, yeah. People love people like that. So anyway, what I was going to say was, what the heck was I saying?
Oh, about the viewership and tips and tricks and like finding ways to grow your channel.
Yeah. So that's basically what I look in. That's why I like mobile games so much, is because you have the ability to make just so many different videos. There's so many ways to explain all the same type content. Like, just to give you an example of the game that I play, it's a hero-based game, so there's 80 different heroes in this game.
Yeah.
So if I want, potentially I could talk about 80 of those heroes.
Yeah.
Well, within those heroes, each one can have a different talent. Each one can have something different, like different things to put on the hero to give them different statistics.
Yeah.
And they all do like certain things. Like, one hero might silence all the other heroes or they can't attack. Or one hero might, debuff all the heroes around them. So, like, there's so many things to talk about within these mobile games. They're very, very, very detailed, and that's just what I've really loved. As far as like tips and tricks go, nobody really gave me. I didn't really get like a bunch of tips.
Like, you got that ad revenue.
The ad revenue was huge. Yeah. That was the most massive tip I've ever gotten in my life, because I had, that's whenever I started making all those big boy bucks, is as soon as I learned about the ad revenue.
Because I've been talking with...
it changed my life, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I sent the lady a message, and I'm like, hey, like, anytime you guys want to do anything, like, I'm down to meet up. Like, you guys completely changed my life, those guys at SpaceX, because if they wouldn't have flown me on that trip, I wouldn't have known that you could add extra ads to 10-minute videos.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge difference. It changes, like, depending on how many ads and the retention you have. On my videos, I normally put an ad every 2.5 minutes. So if I make a 10-minute video, it'll have 4 to 5 ads. Well, back then, a 10-minute video would have 1 ad.
Yeah.
Well, now it's making 4 or 5 times the money, depending on the retention time.
Yeah, that's huge. That's like that.
Dude,
that's great, and that's per video too, right?
Yeah.
So you essentially quadrupled your revenue.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You must have been like, holy
Well, it was crazy because I didn't even once I got back from the Punta Cana video, I went through all my old videos and added all those extra ads into the 10-minute plus videos, and I was making the same amount of money not posting any content as if I was just working my butt off.
Oh my god!
Which was crazy because I go a whole month without making nothing and still make the same money as when I was posting. I'm not even kidding. Like it's like you can get it's wild. It's like, man, this is crazy.
Dude,
so yeah, that's one beneficial thing about depending on what, especially with you, is your videos can be viewed any day, any time, and it's still going to be relevant. With my videos, they're like the first week out. Like nobody's gonna, like people aren't interested. Some of my videos, like I do have a couple of 500,000 plus views on some of these videos that just have like rare things within the game of Castle Clash that just went viral. I don't know why, but they did. Right? You can't really control that. If
YouTube's just like recommending.
Right. That's what it is. It's like YouTube's recommended this. It's something to do with it's really to do with audience retention, I think, and that's kind of where the game. My channel is struggling with audience retention now because people do like to come in and view my videos, but they're not interested in the whole 10-minute video anymore because the game, this game is 5 years old now. 5-year-old mobile app, just like, you know what I mean? Come on, like, you got to move on. Like I said, if I don't move on to another game, my channel would eventually die. I'm not oblivious. I know that. You know what I mean? I can see that. And that's with any mobile gaming YouTuber. And then there's a chance that my channel could blow up once I do move on to another game. Yeah. And one thing that is positive no matter what is you will always be gaining subscribers no matter what you switch to. You don't really lose subscribers for switching, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Some people might unsubscribe, but in the midst of things, it's not going to matter considering the amount of growth.
Pretty rare.
Yeah. Like there's 2 YouTubers. One, which I know a lot of you guys watching this video, his name's Blue Panda, who was a Castle Clash YouTuber as well. And about 1.5 years ago, I don't know if you've ever heard of a game called League of Legends. You have? Yep. Okay, so League of Legends is a huge computer game. Well, there was a game made for mobile called Mobile Legends. Okay. All right, so this guy who played Castle Clash with me, we actually did a lot of collaborations together, me and this guy. I can't remember exactly where he's from, somewhere in Europe, I believe. But anyway, his YouTube name's Blue Panda. He switched to Mobile Legends and did the exact same thing I was talking to you about. Like, I want to switch to a game, go hard with that game. It should have been Pokemon Go, but it wasn't. And now he has 2.5 million subs, dude, getting 500,000 views a video. And so I'm like, wow, that's, you know what I mean? That's just like things you look up to. Like, okay, well, if this guy did it, literally switch from my game to that game, that's just the type of things you got to do. You know what I mean? So, yeah, shout out to you, Blue Panda. I highly doubt you're watching the video. But if you are, congrats, my man. Always love to see success.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, cool, man. But is there anything else you wanted to touch on? Or because
off the top, we've talked quite a bit.
Yeah, I was like, this is good stuff.
Yeah. My mouth just rambles.
No, you're good. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like some more tips that I have for wanting, like, even, I don't know, like I just started organically. Yeah. Like, that's what it is. I didn't actually see the vision whenever I started, but once I started getting paid, I saw the vision immediately. Yeah. Like, all right. Like,
when you got that first check, you're like, this is possible.
That's what I mean, dude. Getting any amount of money from YouTube is like, you just see that vision, right? You do. It's possible. Yeah. So, and the good news is anybody can do it. Anybody can start. There's nobody holding you back. Anybody can start a YouTube channel. So what YouTube did recently, I'll speak on this because you hadn't heard of it yet. They came out with this thing to where any channel that is making videos that are towards kid audiences are going to be demonetized. And
I saw that. Yeah. It told me to like... Yeah. It was like illegal not to like do this thing. So what was
Here's
that?
Here's the thing, dude. This is crazy. Yet. So my wife actually, since I'm a YouTuber, she has tried to make a couple of YouTube channels with different things. One of her YouTube channel primarily focuses on kids, and what she does is she basically gets four or any amount of Play-Doh cups, and she'll line the Play-Doh cups up on a table, and then like make them look like a little ice cream cone or something that the kids like, and then she'll dig at the Play-Doh cups, and then at the end of the when she digs down, she'll end up opening up a prize out of the Play-Doh cup and then open up the prize and it's like Peppa the Pig or something that kids love to view, something that's literally only focused towards kids. Yeah. Dude, those type of channels are going from no matter how much money they're making to zero. Like, they're getting completely wiped out. So it's a big deal in the whole YouTube universe. You should look up some of these videos because, dude, it's like some of the biggest names are like, what do you do? Like, if you invested everything into making these kid videos and now you're about to make, because your videos can't be monetized anymore.
So kid videos can't be monetized. Yeah, that's what the YouTube.
Yeah, it's crazy. Not only that, but their subscribers don't get an email saying that they posted content anymore either. So let's say you have 2 million subs on a kid channel, you're uploading video. Well,
you're screwed.
You don't get, none of your fans get notified. They literally, dude, they're getting wiped out.
That's crazy.
It's wild. It's so crazy. And I think maybe part of the reason is because, I don't know, I feel like a lot of adults these days are just making nonsense videos for kids that like literally it's crazy how young kids are that are watching YouTube videos. But let's say a 3-year-old's watching YouTube videos that he loves to watch over and over. He's watching some of these Play-Doh type videos. Well, all these ads are hitting the screen. Do you think like these ads aren't reaching the right audience? So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I was thinking it might because, I mean, just think in November, December, like, dude, these kids channels that are getting millions of views, like they're making millions of dollars, right? Yeah. I mean, they are. I don't know. It's going to change a lot of people's lives because they can. Yeah, it is. It's really crazy, and it's scary for a lot of gamers too. Because imagine if you have a gaming Disney Channel. Like, dude, you're not in good shape, or just. I don't know, man. It's scary times, and this just all started. This just happened.
Yeah, like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It is crazy. So yeah, that's something to look into. I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying like, "Oh, we're going to a different platform. We're doing this, we're doing that." But it's like, dude, YouTube has a monopoly when it comes to a platform. Like nothing's bigger than
it's literally taking down TV.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, I don't watch TV.
Me neither.
Zero. Why would I watch TV
YouTube
when I can watch a clip of the same thing? You know what I mean? Everything. YouTube's the way to go. You can just fast forward through everything. It's easy peasy. You know what I mean? I don't know. I love people that haven't got on the YouTube like grind of realizing that anything you want to see on TV can be found on YouTube anyway, and anything you want to know can be found on YouTube. I don't know. My wife loves TV. I love YouTube, and I don't understand how she watches TV. I'm like, I don't know how you watch any TV. Like any sports game I want to watch, I just pull it up right here on the live stream.
And like, there's so many like how-to videos.
Oh my god!
So like people are like, oh, I just need to do like this thing in my house, and then they'll YouTube.
Those are really good videos, and actually, me and my wife just I've never been like very good at hands-on type things when it comes to like repairing certain stuff like vehicles or anything like that. Just never really, just hasn't been like what I've been good at. I don't know, just not good with it. So for fun, we bought this weed eater. My first I started, obviously, whenever I got my own house, I learned how to weed whack. So I was like, you know what? Let's make YouTube videos out of this. So then me and my wife made a video, how to change your string in a weed whacker. And dude, it has 150,000 views, which I thought was really cool. I was like, well, that's cool. You know what I mean? And it's simple. It's like, okay, this video just made $500. We just show people how to change the string in a weed whacker. Like, that's cool. You know, so we were like, all right, well, what can we do next with this? We're like, well, we're showing people how to change the deck on our lawnmower. So that's what I did. I was like, how to change a deck. And of course, I have to go through it and figure out how to do it, which isn't even that hard. But then explain it, and it's fun. It's just I had fun doing that.
That's wild.
It teaches you how to do stuff, and also
there's a huge audience for that.
Yeah, there is. There's a massive audience. And if you, one trick that I could actually give people for YouTube is about how to name videos. A lot of people are, caught up in so many different tags and so many different things. This is my personal experience. I've noticed that all that stuff really doesn't matter, at least personally, to what people say it does. Like a lot of people, they spend, like my wife, for example, when she makes YouTube videos, I literally see her take 30 minutes or maybe even longer per video worrying about her tags. And I'm like, that is not like, you need to make your title to where your title can basically get picked up. Let's say like you're doing, I'm just going to make this up. This is completely, let's say you're doing like a rap video and you're singing on a beat of Cardi B's, for example. You wouldn't want to just put like Cardi B and then her song. You'd want to put some words in there and then put Cardi B there at the end. That way when people do search Cardi B, your words pop up, but then also you have Cardi B there. That way you are pulled up with the algorithm. Yeah. There's certain ways on how to name videos I found that actually do help out a lot.
Wow.
With, I don't know. It's really hard to explain it good.
The algorithm is so interesting. It is. It goes back and forth, on certain things. And
it is. The algorithm's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy because if you get a viral video, like I said, you can monetize your channel for new YouTubers. I mean, if a new YouTuber comes through and has a viral video, they can instantly monetize their channel and then go on with it. That's a blessing. Once you can monetize channels, like that's a great thing.
Yeah.
Like I actually have, my other channel name was Professor JT, but I don't use it at all. And that's the channel for Skylanders Ring of Heroes. And it took me like 3 weeks to get monetized. And that was my goal. My goal was like, you know what? I'm about to just do everything. And what's crazy about that is whenever I started doing videos with that new channel, I lost all my income. Well, not lost all of it, but I didn't have near as much income because I wasn't making videos for my main channel.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm taking away from the videos I could be making on my main channel, literally investing all my time, all my energy into, I made like 175 videos on the new channel within like those 2 months that I was doing it.
Wow.
And so I was investing all that time on that. And that's why whenever it failed, I was just like in such a rough spot. I'm like, dang, like this sucks. But yeah, luckily I overcame that, made it through, and now going to keep continuing with YouTube. No, I mean, there's no other real option for me at the moment. But what I am going to do is be a lot smarter with my investments as into mobile game. I learned a lot from that, like a ton. And also, it's smart. It's being a YouTuber to have a second way of gaining income, because that's really important, because you never really know when your channel can die, like especially if you're a mobile gamer. Like what happened, not necessarily what happened to me, because my channel's still going. I'm still making enough money to pay every single bill with flying colors, no problem. But you can be put in a spot to where if the game does die, your channel does die, which could happen to any of us. Like, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be only reliant on YouTube. That's
have a net.
So that's what me and my wife are talking about now. We're like, all right, well, we need to build our own business. So that's what we're working on. So we're basically saving up money right now. We're gonna build our own little business and try to do something on our own. So that's our next goal. But
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on. Like,
you're the man, bro.
Really appreciate it.
You're the man.
It's and anyone who's my like 100 subscribers that are here, go subscribe to him.
Most people, honestly, if you're from Alex's channel, most people don't really, like, my channel's not going to be interesting to anybody unless they, that's one thing that's negative about my channel is you would never want to subscribe to it if you're not playing the game I'm playing. You're not just going to be, you're not just going to want to be like, oh, let's go subscribe to JT's All Business and watch his gaming videos where he only talks about Castle Clash.
What to do in the Castle Clash.
That's not, you know what I mean? That's not, that's what I mean. Like, that's why I don't worry about any, me specifically, shout-outs don't benefit my channel at all. Because it's like zero. It's not going to matter.
Like, it's if you play the game.
It's only for people that are interested in playing the game or people that play the game, to be honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to sending the crew over to your channel to watch this video and definitely get some growth in there, dude. You've been doing a good job. I wanted to tell you that, especially on film. Like, dude, I've watched now 3 of your videos. They were all really freaking good. And the questions you have, the way you interact with people, got potential there, dude. So definitely keep going strong with it. And, I watched the gang video.
Yeah!
That was cool, dude. Yeah.
Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
I was really pumped to get that interview.
That was cool.
Well, thank you for that support.
Heck yeah. And, I mean, you live right next. I'm sure I'll be back on the, there's no reason why I wouldn't be back on this podcast again, I would assume. So I'm sure you guys will see me in the future. So yeah, definitely subscribe and check it out.
All right. Well, thank you again, man. I have no words for the support that you've like verbally and just with your channel. It's amazing. So thank you so much.
Well, anyway, guys, have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
We are
see you guys next time on the Beneath the Surface podcast.
One time.